Welcome to CES 2024. This is the best tech that you can buy, and probably a few that you can't as well. So we are here for the third time at the Samsung event. We've had to shoot this 3 times because the audio wasn't working. Behind us we've got their new range of OLED monitors. We've got the G9 OLED, which is obviously one of my favorites. The new version this year has just slightly different coating on it.
OLED glare-free technology designed to minimize distracting reflection.
Other than that, everything else is the same. The ports are the same, the stand's the same. Still really good monitor, so really cool on that one. They've also got the G6 OLED screen, which is a 27-inch OLED screen. They've got the G8, which is 2 different sizes. I think it's 31 and 35-inch sizes. And then behind us, they've got the monstrous Arc 2nd generation. Again, looking to get my hands on all of these if I can do. We've also seen their new transparent TV, which we're not too sure how it actually fits into general day-to-day life. I guess it just replaces the black box of darkness that you have that's on your wall 95% of the time with a translucent one that you can kind of see through, or maybe put some art up instead. Other things we have seen as well are the new flagship level Neo QLED 8K 65-inch. I'm reading that off the wall here because I forgot the name of it. But that is such an incredible TV from what I've seen. It's super thin, obviously super high quality. It's their flagship TV. So again, looking forward to getting hold of that one. They've also announced some very strange things. There's a vet service they've also announced. You can kind of get veterinary help from your TV for your pets, which is an interesting one. They've also launched a new smart speaker, which is not really a smart speaker, but is these kind of photo frames that you can put on your wall, on stands. You can also pair them with your TV to basically play music as a speaker. So you can essentially pair it with your TV as 2 rear speakers, 2 stereo speakers in front of the TV. Looks super cool. Not sure yet on the audio quality and how that compares to a proper speaker because they are very thin. But again, like super innovative stuff. And the big kind of news, I guess, from today's service is their new generative AI with their new Neo AI Gen 3 processor. Very interesting to see about how you can use it to upscale the image quality. You can use it to do a live transcribing of audio from kind of films or movies you're watching, or even TV shows or news, which is very cool to see that in the real world. And yeah, it's been really cool to see all this. The only concern I have is there was a big part they did on their new Tizen interface. I hope they sped it up really slow. So we're going to see, hopefully when we get our hands on the actual model, if it's actually usability, if it's actually usable as well. There's also some cool gaming features. I hold my judgment on the gaming features quite a lot because it's not really playable when you compare it to a console. And of course it's not, 'cause it's not a real console. It's good for casual gamers, but most of the time you're going to have a small console next door to it. I don't know, we'll see. Samsung Knox is coming to A series mobile phones, which is good to see because that's normally been reserved for Z series or Z series or their S series phones. So Samsung Knox is their whole security solution, password manager, that kind of stuff. So that's coming to A series phones. They're also talking about expanding Samsung Knox to every device, and to a certain extent when a device gets compromised, it will then isolate your compromised devices. Not exactly sure how that works, but again, good to see that that's a focus for Samsung. And actually, to be fair, even though the word AI was mentioned a gazillion times in their presentation, it was also mentioned quite a lot in terms of security and privacy, which is good to see from a company because AI is the next big thing and everyone's hopping on the AI kind of bandwagon, but not many people are really going into the really security fundamentals of kind of protecting your data and keeping things on device and local to keep everything away from the kind of the big bad world outside. Other things that came up that I was really impressed with, very cool to see how this is going to work out. SmartThings integration with Tesla Powerwall. Now they were talking about being able to do things like enabling Stormwatch on the Tesla Powerwall when obviously weather conditions change, but also interestingly being able to reduce power consumption on devices around the home. So if you've got like a SmartThings powered TV or dishwashers or other kind of home appliances, you'll be able to control those, switch them off, put them in more efficient modes whilst your house is acting on battery when it's been powered by a Tesla Powerwall battery due to a power cut, which I thought was fascinating because obviously the lower energy everything's using, then the more time you're going to get on your Tesla Powerwall battery pack. They also announced, was it Bali? As it makes you just think of Wally. Their assistant, it's basically an assistant / portable moving screen on wheels. This little kind of digital robot that follows you around the house and projects things onto the ceiling and onto walls, and I'm not convinced. And then lastly, car. This is another big thing we're seeing repeatedly from the likes of LG, from other brands we've seen today, from Panasonic, like the car operating system. Samsung have partnered with Hyundai to have their essentially their operating system with Harman, which is the kind of sister company which partnered with Samsung to make the software that runs inside cars. Kind of seems to be that everyone's trying to replicate what Apple are doing with their CarPlay, Android Auto to a certain extent, but expanding it to the rest of the car to cover, all your dashboard and all your car heating and cooling systems. Whilst obviously being in partnership with Samsung, they have access to and can control all your smart home devices, all your smart things devices, being able to open the garage door, being able to turn so some very interesting partnerships announced. But I think Samsung is the only one who's announced an actual car partnership with Hyundai. Same thing with LG. They announced a huge car operating system, but didn't really announce any car partnerships. So very interested to see how that comes to fruition. But other than that, we're going to go for a wander and see what else we can see here. But it's so far pretty cool. Right, we are here with Govee on their stand today, and we're going to be running through some of their newest products coming up for 2024. Okay, so first up we have the all-new generation Backlight 3 Pro, which is pretty awesome. So this is the new generation TV backlight. It's got softer lighting around the outside, some much cleverer camera techniques in there to make things more accurate. And they were saying that this can now recognize things like when you've got explosions going off, gunshots, those kind of things, to really react with the lighting that's going on around it. And of course, this is also compatible with the whole Dream View. Like any Govee product you've got, you can basically link all of them up together. So we've got the light bars on the side here, panels on the side, the LED strip down here, and they will all work with their Dream View to kind of react to what's going on the TV screen. Right, so we're in the gaming section of the Govee booth stall today. We have we have quite a few new products. We have these new hexagon light panels that come in 2 different colors, white and gray. And the unique things about these panels is that there are, I believe it's 2 different sections you can control the lighting. You've got the outer light around the edge of the hexagon, and you've got the inner light panels themselves as well. You can control the lighting on all of those. We have the new Govee gaming wall light, which is in partnership with somebody. Not sure who yet, but this looks really, I love the detail on this. I love the kind of LED piping work as well. This is coming soon. I guess there's no confirmed dates. Again, you can completely swap and change, and you've also got 2 different interconnecting panels. You've got like a triangular version to go up like here. You've got a square version as well, so you can kind of draw your straight lines. But again, all swappable, all compatible with Govee's Dream View as well for pretty much kick-ass gaming lights you get. In terms of other products, there's 2 different new HDMI sync boxes, I think they're called. They are called SyncBox Kit 2. So these are 2 different versions. There's one that's more of a PC desktop gaming monitor version, and there is one that's more of a gaming TV monitor setup. Now these boxes have 4 HDMI ports on them. They're HDMI 2.1, so I believe they can run up to 2K, 240 Hertz, 4K, 120 Hertz, and then 8K as well. They do 8K up to 60 Hertz.
It has 90 LEDs per packs and then 6 packs here. We want to make the board as transparent board.
Yep.
So it will be so much cool, so cool.
You can just kind of look through it as a window
And people can upload some video, GIFs, or pictures on it.
Yeah.
So it can display like animation, like a display screen on it.
Quite clearly that's Pikachu.
Yeah.
It's very easy
just
to see.
because of the copyright thing, we can't actually play something in it.
Of course,
so it's all about imagination.
I see. It looks similar to Pikachu, but it's not Pikachu.
I don't know if the Pikachu.
Okay, so I'm going to talk quite quietly because there's a room full of people around me as well. So we have the new 2 new LG Ultra Gear monitors this year. Thankfully, they have fixed the stand, which was my only real bugbear on the last LG 45-inch version we reviewed, because the old stand stuck way out into the desk space. These are the new desk stands that match other brands we've seen as well. They look fantastic, much slimmer. You can fit a lot more on the desk space. Both of these screens, they have 2 HDMI 2.1 ports on them. They also have DisplayPort 1.4 on them. Both of these screens like that. And they are much more, they're basically just smaller versions of their 45-inch counterpart. Okay, so this is the new, I'm going to read it off because it's very long, 32GS95UE, expected to launch in either Q1 or Q2 of 2024. Visa certified dual mode OLED gaming monitor, which is incredible. 240 Hertz in 4K mode, or it goes up to, in full HD, goes up to 480 Hertz in full HD, which is pretty insane. There is a little toggle switch I can press here, which will allow you to see the differences between, if I press the right button, 2 screens. This one is running at 144 hertz, I believe. This one is now running at the full 480 hertz, which is difficult for you to see if you're watching because that's shot in 60 frames a second. But from the eye, it is very, very noticeably different. So much smoother, which is interesting because you kind of think, who can really tell the difference between 240 hertz and 480? And weirdly you can. It's bizarre. You can tell it's much, much smoother. Now this is also an OLED panel. So again, you get much deeper blacks with kind of mini LED panels. I'm a huge fan of OLED screens, particularly the LG screen technology is just fantastic. This image quality is so incredible. I don't even know which game it is, but it just looks fantastic that we've got here. 1300 nits peak brightness, which is great. 0.03 millisecond response time for the gamers. So again, that's one that you want to have as well. Resolution-wise, 3840 by 2160. Very, very grateful to get a decent resolution out of this screen as well. Now this is a 31.5 inch screen that we've got here as well. Really hoping there might be some 49 inch versions maybe in the future at some point because I like my bigger screens. And we have 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, a single display port 1.4, and there's some USB ports for connectivity as well. Now one of the features I've completely forgotten to talk about, which we've already recorded as well, is the speakers in this thing are actually built into, or rather built behind the screen. There we go. So you can actually hear and feel it, and hear it as well from here. It's pretty. The sound literally comes from the panel itself. You can feel it when the audio is coming out of the panel. You can touch the panel and it vibrates and it sounds very, very good. It's a stereo sound as well, so you get 2 woofers in there. And when you're sitting in front of it, you can clearly hear the stereo sound on there. So if you're listening to music, that would be incredible. But certainly for gameplay, it is fantastic. Another new product we saw from LG is this new MyView smart monitor. Now this is the 32SR85U, and this is basically a 31.5 inch UHD 4K monitor. It runs WebOS 23, which basically means that you can actually get all of the smart features you get from similar things like the TVs and LG's ranges of TVs and monitors. So that means you can use this to work day to day with its high 4K UHD resolution, but you can also then perhaps in the evenings repurpose this as something like a TV with all of its smart features. This one is an IPS panel. It reaches about 400 nits, HDR10 certified, and on this screen you get 2 HDMI ports, but also 3 USB-C with 90 watt power delivery, which I think is incredible. It's one thing I wish more monitors would have, is USB-C connectivity with power delivery. But again, because this is a smart monitor and not just a monitor and not just a TV, you get tons of other features on here. This really did actually genuinely impress me. This is the LG Gram Pro, and this is the 16-inch model, I believe it is, that you're seeing right here. And this thing is light, and I mean insanely light. Like, I pick it up and it just doesn't feel like it's a laptop. It is insane how light it is. Now, considering the size and weight, and particularly the weight of this machine, they still managed to squeeze in some pretty impressive specs. You've got the Intel Meteor Lake chipset inside here. There is also the NVIDIA RTX 3050 with 4 GB of RAM in here, which for the size of this laptop is pretty incredible. And as you can see here, it is only just a little bit thicker than an actual iPhone, but it's an entire laptop, which again is pretty impressive. And after carrying around a MacBook Pro for all of this CES conference, this thing would make a massive difference. It is lighter than a MacBook Air. It is, I guess, one of the lightest laptops in existence. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, they also make a 2-in-1 model, which can completely flip the screen around to use as like a tablet, and it has a pen that magnetically attaches onto the side as well. Okay, so this is the new LG Cinebeam Cube, they're calling it, and this is a tiny projector that projects 4K UHD projector, and it's so very small you can practically fit it in your pocket. Now this thing has up to 500 peak nits in terms of brightness, which this projector over here is from a competing brand, and that is 230 maximum lumens from this, so it's literally double the amount that we're getting out of this projector. Also, minor note here, we have a full HDMI port as well, so we can plug in full HDMI sources without having to faff around with small kind of micro HDMI cables. And the fact you can put one of these in your pocket almost, and they make lots of very cute little cases for these as well, so you can pop one in, take one around for travel, and you can also a cute little remote control in the box. It's amazing. Another feature we've seen in actually much larger projectors, not in any small projectors like this before, is the ability to auto adjust when you change where it's pointing out, whether it's at the wall or even if I point it at the ceiling, and it will give you a perfectly rectangular image wherever you point it at, which is pretty cool, and it's very, very quick. Like, the difference between that and that is not even a second. It does it very, very quickly. We are here at the Philips booth with Raphael, who's going to give us a walkthrough of all the new up-and-coming products from Philips this year.
But basically, you can go like just approach the door lock, and when you see like the flash, the red light flashing, you can just like put your hand, it's gonna unlock. So you can see like the sensor like, just going blue, and you can put your hand here, and it's good.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So is that what's that infrared? It's scanning your hand with or something?
Yeah, it's the palm vein. Yeah, under your skin.
Wow. Okay.
And so yeah, we choose that because like we have a competitor also like that just launched a face recognition, but for privacy issues. So it's going to be available in US in Q2 normally.
Okay.
If everything goes well, and so. Like for now, the only model that we have available in US, this is the 1000 series. So this one, there is like several models. You have the fingerprint model. So yeah, this one is the fingerprint model, and you can also like unlock this model with a one-time PIN code. But it's a non-connected device.
Okay.
So we started with this device because we wanted also this is the lower price range. And we don't want to also like make a great barrier between the consumers and I think that people mostly know like Philips through UA and the smart bulbs and everything. But we are like two different companies. So
I see. Okay.
Yeah, we are working on a collaboration actually with them.
Okay.
Maybe like in 2 or 3 months. And the idea is to connect the lock with the smart bulb. And for example, you go and you enter your home, and the light just like switch on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
fantastic. So in terms of you mentioned this the smart one.
Yeah.
Is this more connected? I see it's got Wi-Fi support in there as well.
Yeah, so this is like we got like just 2 devices with built-in Wi-Fi. So we have this one and this one. This one is not available yet. It's going to be launched in March.
Okay.
And there is also like several ways to unlock. So we have a wireless keypad sold separately, and you can like unlock with the fingerprint as well, PIN code. Yeah. So actually we are working with Google Home and Alexa.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, there is no mic inside. You have to talk to your Alexa and Google Home.
And so does this give you the ability to create like guests if you want to kind of let visitors in or your family or something like that?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Excellent. Yeah. And you have also like the regular PIN code to unlock it. And there's also like an interesting feature like you can unlock just this one, and after when you leave your home, you just lock. And after there is the door sensor, and after maybe like 10 seconds, it's gonna like lock automatically.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And you have also like the doorbell, which will be available also in Q2. So it's gonna work, but you're gonna need like to buy a Wi-Fi bridge.
Yeah. Okay. So that's gonna be a bridge you plug into your network, and that's all gonna talk back to that.
Yeah, exactly.
But these products don't need that, I guess.
No. This one has got a built-in Wi-Fi already.
I see. Okay.
And but with this one also, like you can like make it work like through wire connection, and if you don't have a wire connection, you can work also with batteries.
Yeah.
And also like you can recharge it as well. It's like 5 hours, and it's gonna work like for 5 months.
Okay.
5 months.
See, has it got a camera down there for like packages?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
And the other one. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And after that, we're gonna have like pretty soon, normally like early February, hopefully like the Bluetooth one. So they basically got all the features that the 1000 series got with the four ways to unlock. So the fingerprint, the PIN code, the key as well. So we decided also to keep the key because, for example, if the batteries died, it's still interesting to get like like a mechanical.
Also, my wife prefers a physical key rather than that kind of thing. Or looking, it's nice to have a fallback for a physical key for sure.
Yeah, and so this device got a built-in Bluetooth.
Okay.
In it, and it's gonna be already early February, I think.
Okay, so Bluetooth, that's Bluetooth with your phone, so something like things like as you're approaching, you can unlock and those kind of things.
Through the Google, through the Philips Home access.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
Yes, excellent, thank you. That's been fantastic.
You're absolutely welcome.
Thank you all for coming, and hello to all tuning in live from around the world.
So LG, and pretty much the same with all the brands we've seen this morning, AI is mentioned in every single session about every single product. So we've had an AI microwave, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But as far as LG goes, obviously AI is a big thing. They have a new smart home hub for LG ThinQ, which is good. It looks like it's everything's locally, it's done on platform, so there's better security around that. They're not sending commands or sending anything out onto the internet to have the AI stuff done to it and then sending back to the device. It's all kept on device and is local. They have an open API to that as well, so lots of other services will in future be able to talk to LG's ThinQ service. And a very interesting development or product announcement as well was Smart Home as a Service, which is their new ThinQ Up 2.0 service, which they quoted as zero labor home via a subscription service. And from what I've seen on the slides they had as well, they had literally this slider where you could say you wanted an appliance for anywhere from 2 years through to 6 years, which seems like you could basically rent an appliance from them. Yeah, very interesting to see how that actually plays out in the real world, because I imagine a lot of people would potentially sign up for, subscribing to an appliance, but it's probably going to be more expensive in the long run. Subscription services, everyone kind of hates subscribing to things nowadays, so perhaps not. Be interesting to see how that plays out. They also had a new TV, using their new 11th gen OLED processor. They've been around for a very, very long time doing these OLED TVs. The LG G3 is undoubtedly one of the best OLED TVs around at the moment. And with the new 11th gen OLED processor in it, they can now recognize, they can personalize the experience to you. WebOS, which is in, I think it's the 10 years of WebOS, they said. In my opinion, it is basically the best TV interface so far. There's also a new Google partnership where they're going to build in Chromecast into all of their upcoming TVs. So that's going to be fascinating to see. 2 more things from LG. One was their new OLED T, which is their transparent TV. Samsung showed us a micro LED transparent TV. LG's is an OLED transparent, and the way it works is there's this, I'm not sure if it's a physical curtain or just something they're doing with the pixels, but there's this rising curtain that comes up to give you those deep blacks of a proper, true OLED experience. So you still get the true OLED experience, but with a transparent kind of background that you can remove, and then you can kind of place the TV in a window and see through. And not quite sure what the practical real world use cases are for that yet. Except for that, I like the fact it means you do not have this black portal of darkness stuck to your living room wall 90% of the time and not using it. So that's really cool. A couple of small things from Panasonic. They now have an AI-powered microwave from Panasonic, which will guide you through recipes. If you're a vegetarian or if you don't like particular ingredients, it can swap things out for you. Potentially interesting. It will also cook food properly, depending on what food you're cooking and what ingredients you're using. They had a ton of environmental commitments. It's good to see Panasonic really focused for the whole first half of their keynote presentation on environmental commitments. Haven't seen anyone else do much of that yet. And only other notable thing that I kind of paid attention to there, they've got some new TVs coming out as well, which we'll cover. Lumix cameras, they have a new 100mm macro lens that is very, very small. It's kind of that small versus my 90mm macro lens that I have is like that big. Yeah, I can feel there's all sorts of things happening in my back right now. And my neck. Oh, wow.
And because of that design, it has the ability to give you that stretch.
Wow,
so
yeah.
For the stretch, that's the highlight of the
I'm looking forward to that. Oh, wow. So to explain what's going on, it feels like there's balls that are kind of rolling, that's what she said, up and down my back. Massaging my shoulders, my neck, that's the top of my shoulders there. There's also something going on my butt cheeks that's very interesting. It's massaging the bottom of my feet now, my hands. Oh, it's like really compressing my hands. Oh, compressing my arm. Ooh. Oh, that's like rolling down my back now. Oh, hello. Feels like someone's giving me that. Oh my God, it's when someone does the whole like chopping movement on your back. Yeah. It's the chopping movement on my back, up and down my back.
Are you gonna buy one?
I want one. I want one at home. Imagine just being able to like have this whilst you are just chilled out watching TV. Okay. Right. Wow. Okay. That's incredible. Oh, is this the stretch? This is the, yeah, very nice. Oh, I'm having a very nice butt massage right now. Oh, it's incredible. I love this. Oh, wow.